How much of this loss is on Mahomes?
The vast majority. Listen, what?
Sorry. I'm upset too.
So this is one of the worst games of his career. I will again, because I'm going to be fair across the board here. I reject the stat padding piece of it. I think that was fighting to the end. I don't think it was. I care about what my stat line is.
Oh no, I don't think that. I agree with that.
Okay.
I just meant it.
No. The numbers look better than the performance.
That's all.
No, I expected him to not give up.
He wasn't going to give. Okay, all right.
I don't mean that.
Because there, you do sometimes.
I just mean in 5 years, people look at it
and be like, oh, he wasn't that bad. No. This is one of the worst games of his career. He said it.
Yeah.
That. And I said it, down 10-0, it wasn't going well. They weren't, but they've been there before. And the pick six, you're way up against it. Now it's 17. The defense gets a stop. You go three. You go 3 and out. You throw a pick, and now it's over. And so I don't really care about the fumble. I don't. They were down 30, and he was trying to chuck it.
Yeah.
But the first third down attempt of the game is a little behind Travis. Now, Travis, he just didn't seem right the whole game. By right, I don't mean like he was hurt. I mean, it just didn't seem like Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. And so I know that the smartest football people are going to explain how he was drawing dead because of the offensive line. But I can't choose to like those people in this instance when I've kind of hated them all year. And so, yes, it is the single best path to beat any great quarterback. Any great quarterback is pressure with 4. Like, it's not even analysis. Right. It's like what's the best path to win a baseball game? Have your star guy hit 5 home runs. Like, yes, we know. And so he was in a very difficult circumstance, and had they lost because the other Philly was getting pressure with 4, but it looked differently, then I would feel differently. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, it was just stacked deck, or Philly played their best game. It was a combination of Philly playing as well defensively as I feel any team has played in any game all year, and Kansas City's superstar, I believe most talented player in the history of the league, having his worst game in years.
Yeah.
So when you are the leader of the team, the best player of the team, and you have your worst game of the year, it'd be like if Saquon had 4 fumbles and the defense gave, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, like, you can't have it. So is it all on, I won't say it's all on Patrick, like 100%, because it's a football game, but this will, I feel, I'll finish it with this, Brew. I feel very differently about this game than I did the Tampa one. Tampa, I thought, it's kind of the opposite. His stat line from the Tampa game looks to me way worse than he actually played. You watch that game, there's drops, and he's under duress. This game, he didn't look like himself, and he said it. So, a lot of it.
Yeah. I mean, listen, that's credit to Nick Wright for saying that, because he knows he can't really deny it in this situation. Listen, I've already said this in many videos, but and you guys take it as me being a Patrick Mahomes hater, but he's calling him out now. But Patrick Mahomes has played like this in essentially every single Super Bowl. Every single Super Bowl except for, I think, against maybe the Philadelphia Eagles in 22. Again, I'm going to keep saying it. I'm not trolling here. People think that I hate the Kansas City Chiefs, and I don't. I really, really don't. And I hate Patrick Mahomes, and it's just not true. But 7 interceptions in 5 Super Bowls. A passer rating in the 50s. Excuse me. In the 80s. A touchdown interception ratio of 10-7. This is what he's consistently done. So this is what Patrick Mahomes has done. The difference is that the defense wasn't able to contain the Philadelphia Eagles. That's the difference. That was the difference, combined with actually going up against a great defense. So then when Patrick Mahomes wasn't, absolutely transcendent, the Philadelphia Eagles never gave him a chance to make up for any of that. So not only could they not stop the Philadelphia Eagles, but then the defense couldn't bail him out. That's how you get steamrolled. We all know that his real score was 40. And I was laughing because, dude, Patrick Mahomes got 2 touchdowns when Nick Sirianni was already in a Gatorade bath. I mean, that's real talk. They were literally like going for a 2-point conversion while Nick Sirianni is being drenched in Gatorade. I mean, those touchdowns were nothing. Nobody even cared. It was prevent defense. It was backups. So I don't think Patrick Mahomes was padding his stats on purpose, but I mean, like that is what it was. We call out Dak Prescott for it, right? I've made videos talking about Baker Mayfield's stats are inflated even in wins and stuff. So you got to be consistent about it. You do. You got to be consistent about it. But I mean, the sheer fact that this offense as a whole was a disaster. I mean, they couldn't run the ball, and obviously they were down by so much. But even before that, 49 yards rushing by Kansas City. When the score was 34-0, Mahomes hadn't even passed the Chiefs didn't even pass the 50-yard line, and Mahomes hadn't completed no pass longer than 11 yards. It was 6 sacks most in his career. 34, down 34 was his biggest deficit in his career as well. Back-to-back interceptions, second time in the history for quarterbacks in the Super Bowl. I mean, he played bad. I can't say that the defense has a much blame for this game. I know they hung 40, technically 33, right? Yeah, 33. But it probably would have been even more because the Eagles could have scored more, but they obviously did. At that point, they were just, running the ball. They were okay with field goals, like they were okay with that. So it's hard to really know. But I wouldn't necessarily even blame the defense because the Eagles' offense was just that good. And again, they made the mistake of thinking that Jalen Hurts can't beat you with his arm. And that's it's just a false statement. He did it last Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, like, he did it in multiple games this year. Like, this whole idea that Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball. So this Eagles offense was always set up to beat any team. They're the best team in the NFL. You can try to create it, whereas no, the Chiefs were actually the best team, but they just had a bad game. And it's just not true. It's just not true. The Philadelphia Eagles put up 95 points in their last 2 games. And again, everyone talks about Patrick Mahomes, just that clutch gene and just always being on it. The season doesn't start until the AFC Championship game. All right, well, here we are in the Super Bowl. So it's like, well, what are we going to say there? I don't think it was a great game by Andy. And I think, you guys all know, I think Andy Reid's, the GOAT coach. But they obviously abandoned the run in the very beginning of the game. It was all pass. That first play, I think it was like his first throw for like a first down. It was a signature, hike and throw. Hike, throw. It was a quick bloop. First down. I was like, oh, that's what this game's going to be like. And then they couldn't get it going. And then the Eagles defense, I mean, again, the reality is, when you say, is this loss all on Patrick? The reality is that the Philadelphia Eagles are just a better team. That is just a fundamental reality. So I can't blame a team for losing to a better team. When you're an inferior team, it's just like, well, yeah, you win. The good team wins. And I kept saying that going into this game, that the Philadelphia Eagles are the better team, but I believe in the coaching more for the Kansas City Chiefs. And, of course, Mahomes. So you're just kind of like, well, I know how important coaching is. And my concern was, well, I don't know, Fangio, Kellen Moore. I believed in Fangio, but I wasn't sure, like, will Fangio be able to really go up against Andy Reid, This is just another game for Andy. Andy's been here a million times at this point. And same thing with, Spags going up against Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore, who's kind of like, does the guy even need to have to shave? That's how young he is these days. And so you're just kind of, you're kind of just like, they have the coaching, it's not even close. They have the coaching advantage. But Fangio, masterclass. Kellen Moore, masterclass. And then Jalen Hurts was flawless. I know he had that interception. I get it. Those things happen, obviously. But in terms of composure, like how Nick said that Jalen Hurts that Mahomes just didn't look right, and I agree. He was uncomfortable and had nothing to do with the Philadelphia Eagles defense. But he looked like how he looked in a lot of Super Bowls, in essentially every single Super Bowl except for the one in 22. And even them, they got off to a slow start in 22. I don't remember exactly how that lead happened in terms of like, how the drive stalled out for the Kansas City Chiefs. I definitely remember more in 2019 and then against the Bucks and then even against the 49ers. I kept saying Patrick Mahomes had one of the worst interceptions you could have against the 49ers, but his defense bailed him out. His defense either held him to a field goal or I think no points at all. And then you have a muff punt, and then Greenlaw gets injured. And then now that was enough room for Patrick Mahomes to be able to attack that. Andy Reid to attack that. Travis Kelce to attack that. And the Eagles just were not like, they weren't allowing it. The way how the Kansas City Chiefs were able to thrive was by having the other team leave the door open. And the Philadelphia Eagles slammed the door shut, deadbolted it, put the plywood on the windows, had bars on the windows. And they were just like, nah. So, like, you can try to do all the magic you want, but even when you try, you still can't do it. I mean, Patrick Mahomes wasn't able to do any actual great play. I don't know if Patrick Mahomes even just had one play that was better than anything that Jalen Hurts did. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. 3 turnovers. So again, this is more proof that I'm not a Patrick Mahomes hater. Because if I was a Patrick Mahomes hater, I would be using this as an opportunity to say, this was all Patrick Mahomes. He lost the Super Bowl. Where's your hero now? He's a bum. He's overrated. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying the Kansas City Chiefs went up against a better team. And Patrick Mahomes was not perfect because I don't expect him to be perfect. Because he hasn't ever been perfect in a Super Bowl. In fact, he's been kind of only good in Super Bowls. Yeah, did he come up big in certain situational plays throughout Super Bowls? Absolutely. But he had not played high-quality football. It's not about just these random individual plays throughout the game. That's absolutely part of it, too. That can absolutely be part of it. But when you're really relying on great situational plays to win games, you need a lot of things to go in your favor. You need the defense to slow down that offense. You need a Travis Kelce to catch the ball and break a tackle and go for an extra 20 yards. Like, you need other things. You need the special teams. You need your punt returner to run for 45 yards. You need the other team to miss a field goal. You need the other team to make mistakes almost every single time. Every single time. Jimmy Garoppolo overthrowing that ball. The muff punt, the fumble by Christian McCaffrey, the fumble by Jalen Hurts, and then even in that second half, the offense getting too conservative, too scared. You needed the other teams to make mistakes for Patrick Mahomes to be able to be a hero. And when the other team doesn't allow that, I mean, this is what you get. And we saw that even throughout this season. You needed the fumbled snap or whatever the heck it was considered against the Raiders. You needed the block field goal against the Denver Broncos. You needed Lamar Jackson to miss multiple throws, like wide open throws in that first game. You needed the Bengals. You needed the defense to have an egregious, pass interference call. And Joe Burrow, I think he had multiple turnovers or at least one. Like you needed all those mistakes in order for Mahomes to be the hero. Well, has Patrick Mahomes ever been the hero when both teams are just playing a clean game? And yet he led them back, or it was just a tie game going into the final 2 minutes and everybody was playing high quality, clean ball. And then he was just able to overcome it. I mean, that's not really Patrick Mahomes' story. It's always relying on the other team's failures. The Buffalo Bills' failure to convert, a fourth down. 2-point conversions. Catching the ball. In multiple games. Kansas, the Baltimore Ravens fumbling the ball in the AFC Championship game. Like, you're relying on the mistakes and failures of the other team. If you don't do that, it really backs the Kansas City Chiefs in a corner. And therefore, Mahomes, Andy, and Spags. I kept saying this. They win games by being consistent and waiting for the other teams to be inconsistent. Well, the Philadelphia Eagles, man, were just balling. I mean, would they have 13 turnovers in 4 playoff games? I mean, that's insane. That's insane. That's next level. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Patrick Mahomes? Do you think this loss is all on Mahomes? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.